Everson Griffen back in Minnesota for a situational role after 1 year away. He signed with the Cowboys, was traded to the Lions, had a pretty good year, 14 games, 7 sacks last year. He's still got some gas in the tank. Mike Zimmer said yesterday he will be a situational pass rusher for the Minnesota Vikings, who have a pretty good defensive line with Danielle Hunter, with their defensive tackles, Dalvin Tomlinson and Michael Pierce. Pierce opted out last year. Pierce already gave Griffen his 97 back. Sheldon Richardson, a backup in the tackle rotation. They got the chance to be pretty good on defense, and Griffen will make them better. The question is the offense, and Griffen gave us an unvarnished view of quarterback Kirk Cousins back in January when he tweeted, and I quote, "Kirk Cousins is ass. Thank you." I'm glad he added the thank you. And then he followed up, ask Zimmer if he wanted Kirk. Finally, he will tell you the truth. Who wanted Kirk Cousins? Take your guess. Those are tweets that were all posted on January 9 and deleted by Everson Griffen. And look, Chris, I remember when there was talk of the Seahawks bringing back Richard Sherman. In my mind, that was the not-so-subtle middle finger to Russell Wilson because there was a tense relationship at best between those two. So at a time when Kirk Cousins is leading the anti-vaxxer charge in Minnesota, he won't do everything to ensure his availability to earn his $2 million or so per game this year. Mike Zimmer's exasperated. We're not going to tiptoe on eggshells around you. We're not going to shun somebody that you may not like because he said, and I quote, "You are ass,"
right.
End quote. They're going to go ahead and bring him back. They're not going to give him any favors. I feel like there's an element of that rattling around in all of this.
I don't disagree with that. Added on top of that there's a need for Everson Griffen. They would like another guy that can, take some snaps off the edge and apply some pressure to the quarterback. I mean, Mike Zimmer's a defensive head coach. He wants to be able to platoon defensive linemen in. And, you kind of said it to me. This is one of the keys to the success, as far as the Minnesota Vikings are concerned, because they have not looked great so far in the preseason. And the secondary, I think, is still iffy. But if you got a great front seven and they got a chance to have, like you said, a pretty damn good front seven where you look at it and you go, man, they might be able to stop the run and not need a safety down in the box or do anything like that. And if they can get after the quarterback, that'll go a long way to helping out that secondary too. So I think there was need there for sure. And I think probably a little bit of maybe if Kirk Cousins was doing everything right and had played awesome and done everything, maybe they wouldn't have done this. But because of the current circumstances, maybe like you're saying, they just didn't care and they said we need him. And so what if Kirk's feelings are hurt a little bit?
During his reintroduction to the Minneapolis media on Monday, Griffen was asked about those deleted tweets. Here's what he had to say.
I haven't really talked to him yet, but I'm gonna get around to doing that. Apologize to him. I apologize to Coach Zim and Rick about what I said. I take full ownership in that. But I still got to talk to Kurt and apologize to him about that. So.
Just get upset at the time, or what's the precipitation?
I'm just gonna talk to Kurt and apologize to him, and we're gonna have a man-to-man conversation, and we're gonna leave it like that.
Two observations. One, as he was talking about it, he did the face touch, which is always a tell of some level of stress and or not possibly saying what he truly believes. And then the first time, the tape is a little unclear. The second time, he calls him Kurt.
He called him Kurt for sure.
Calls him Kurt.
Yes, he did.
And that, of course, is a reminder of the comment from Bruce Allen. There's a face touch, by the way. At least it wasn't with the middle finger. But Bruce Allen, the former GM of the Washington football team, referring to Kirk deliberately and consciously and slowly as Kurt at one point. Not that that's okay, he got his name a little bit wrong. Kurt, what's the difference? I think anytime you name your kid Kurt or Kirk, you're accepting the risk that from time to time they're going to be called Kirk or Kurt instead of their right name. So It just kind of goes with the territory.
Yeah, no doubt. I don't know if that was
It's not like calling you Carl.
Yeah, exactly right.
It'd be different if I called you Carl or if Gruden called you Carl or Phil or something like that.
Yeah,
Phil. Well, it's okay to call you Phil. That one's easy, but a Carl is a hard right turn from Chris.
Yeah, no, I'm with you all the way there. And again, hey, the locker room, it's not all, Boy Scouts and hugs and kisses anyways. There's always going to be a few guys in the locker room that don't like you or just whatever, jealous of you, whatever it may be. They're going to be professionals. I'm sure he will apologize to Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins will handle it like a professional. He knows that they're not best friends or anything like that. It's not like he's going to confront them. I mean, what's he going to do, beat Everson Griffen up? No. So, this bygones will be bygones, and I think ultimately, really, Kirk is probably aware enough that they could use another pass rusher, and he probably welcomes it if it means more winning and more success for the football team.
I have been next to Kirk Cousins. I have been next to Everson Griffen. I would not
mess
if I were
with
Kirk
Griffen.
Cousins.
Right, yeah, right. I mean, Everson Griffen's
Griffen.
arms and shoulders are jacked. Like, you don't mess with a guy like that.
And Danielle Hunter could take both of them and throw them over a barn.
Well, you tell that to Everson Griffen then the next time you see him.
No, and Griffen was blown away by how much bigger Danielle Hunter is.
Right.
He's really starting to
out.
add to that frame.
Right.
I mean, he is a giant. It's easy for me to say at 5'11", but you're a giant, but
another
Danielle
giant.
Hunter is really a giant.
Right.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.